Daylight was going, and the dusky air was now releasing from their weary toil all living things on earth, and I alone was making ready to sustain the war, both of the road and of the sympathy which my unerring memory will relate. O Muses, O high genius, help me now, O memory that wrote what I saw, herewith shall your nobility appear. I then began, Consider, poet, you that guide me, if strong my virtue be, or ever you trust me to the arduous course. You say that the sire of Silvio entered, when still corruptible, the immortal world, and that while in his body he was there. Hence, that to him the opponent of all ill was courteous, considering the great results that was to come from him. Both who and what seems not unfitting to a thoughtful man. For he of fostering Rome and of her sway in empyrene heaven was chosen as sire, and both of these, if one would tell the truth, were foreordained unto the holy place, where greatest Peter's follower has his seat. While on this quest, for which you give him praise, he heard the things of which his victory the causes were, and of the papal robe. The chosen vessel went there afterward to bring thence confirmation in the faith through which one enters on salvation's path. But why should I go there, or who concedes it? I'm not Aeneas, nor yet Paul am I, me worthy of this, nor I nor others deem. If therefore I consent to come, I fear lest foolish be my coming. You are wise, and can much better judge than I can talk, and such as he who unwills what he willed. The changes in his purpose through new thoughts, that which he had begun he wholly leaves. Such on that gloomy slope did I become, for as I thought it over, I gave up the enterprise so hastily commenced. If I have rightly understood your words, replied the shade of that great-hearted man, your soul is hurt by shameful cowardice, which many times so sorely hinders one, that from an honored enterprise it turns him as seeing falsely does a shying beast. In order that you rid you of this fear, I'll tell you why I came, and what I heard the first time I was grieved on your account. Among the intermediate souls I was, when me a lady called, so beautiful and happy that I begged her to command. Her eyes were shining brighter than a star, when sweetly and softly she began to say, as with an angel's voice she spoke to me, O courteous Mantuan spirit, you whose fame is still enduring in the world above, and will endure as long as lasts the world, a friend of mine, but not a friend of fortune, is on his journey over the lonely slope, obstructed so that he has turned through fear, and, from what I have heard of him in heaven, I fear lest he may now have strayed so far that I have risen too late to give him help. Bestir you then, and with your finished speech, and with whatever his escape may need, assist him, so that I may be consoled. I, who now have you go, am Beatrice. Thence come I, whither I would fain return. 'Twas love that moved me, love that makes me speak. When in the presence of my Lord again, often shall I commend you unto him. Thereat she ceased to speak, and I began. O Lady of Virtue, you through whom alone the human race excels all things contained within the heaven that has the smallest circles, your bidding pleases me so much that late I'd be, had you already been obeyed. You need but to disclose me to your will. But tell me why you do not mind descending into this center from that ample place, where you are so eager to return. Since you would know thereof so inwardly, I'll tell you briefly, she replied to me. Since you would know thereof so inwardly, I'll tell you briefly, she replied to me. Why I am not afraid to enter here, of those things, only should one be afraid, that have the power of doing injury, not of the rest, for they should not be feared. I, of his mercy, am so made by God that me your wretchedness does not affect, nor any flame of yonder fire molest. There is a gentle lady up in heaven, who grieves so at this check whereto I send you, that broken is stern judgment there above. She called Lucia in her prayer, and said, Now has your faithful servant need of you, and I too recommend him to your care. Lucia, hostile to all cruelty, set forth thereat and came unto the place, where I with ancient Rachel had my seat. Why, Beatrice, she said, true praise of God, do you not succor him who loved you so, that for your sake he left the common herd? Do you not hear the anguish of his cry? See not the death that fights him on the flood, over which the sea avails not to boast. Never were there any in the world so swift to seek their profit and avoid their loss as I, after such words as these were uttered, descended here from my blessed seat, confiding in that noble speech of yours, which honors you and whoever has heard it. Then, after she had spoken to me thus, weeping, she turned her shining eyes away, which made me hasten all the more to come, and even as she wished, I came to you, and led you from the presence of the beast, which robbed you of the fair mount's short approach. What is it then? Why do you hold back? Why do you lodge such baseness in your heart? And wherefore free and daring are you not, since 3 so blessed ladies care for you within the court of heaven, and my words, too, give you promise of so much that's good. As little flowers by the chill of night bow down and close when brightened by the sun, stand all erect and open on their stems, so likewise with my wearied strength did I, and such good daring coursed into my heart that I began as one who had been freed. O piteous she who hastened to my help, and courteous you that did at once obey the words of truth that she addressed to you. You have with such desire disposed my heart toward going on, by reason of your words that my first intention I've returned. Go on now, since we two have but one will, you leader, and you lord, and teacher you. I thus addressed him then when we had moved. I entered on the wild and arduous course.